Hello friend, you are welcome again to my channel. Okay, so this is the continuation of the wiring diagram of our circuit on automatic and manual changeover switch, three phase. Okay, so in the previous wiring diagram, I showed how to wire the power circuit through the two contactors and then through the circuit breakers, through the phase monitor, and then through the timer. And then I ended that video when we got to the wiring of the relay. So this video is going to show how to do the wiring of the relay. Okay, but before then, you should understand where the various connections are taken from. And so that is why I am showing these components again. So these two here will represent the two contactors. All right, so in the first video, I explained how to do the power connections. In this video, the concentration is on the control wiring or the wiring of the control circuit. So this is the main contactor and then this is the generator contactor. But here, unlike previously, I am showing only the two auxiliary contacts. So I said in the previous video that one of these contacts is normally closed and then one is normally open. So when this is open, this one will close. The same thing happens here. So this is closed, this is open. Okay, and then the important things that I would be showing on each contactor now is the normally closed and normally open auxiliaries, and then the coil of the contactor. All right, then again, in the previous video also, I used three breakers to do the demonstration because I had to connect it to a phase monitor. All right, but in this case, all the connections that I did previously, I will not be doing them again. So here, as you can see, I'm using a neutral bar to represent the breaker that I used for the neutral connection. And then I'm using just one breaker because I'm going to use only one phase to do the connections I'm going to do now. Okay, so for clarity, this is the breaker together with the neutral point. And then this is the phase monitor, this is the timer, and then this is the relay that I'm going to wire in this video. For clarity, let's label the terminals again. So here, this is L1 that I will be taking my connection from. Then here we have neutral. Then here is L1. Here is L2. Here is L3. That is on the phase monitor. Then the output, as I said before, we have 1, 2, and then 3. Okay, so that is how the output is labeled. Then when we come to the timer here, we have 1, 3, and then A2. Then at the top, we have A1, we have 2, and then we have A3. All right, so if this is your first time, you would have to look below. I have shared the link of the series I'm doing at the top of the description. So when you click on it, you see all the previous videos and then you watch. I explained how all these terminals work and then how the previous connections were done. So here we are just continuing. Okay, then when we come to the relay also has terminal markings. So on the relay, we have the markings 1, here is 2, here is 3, here is 4, here is 5, then here 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then 11. Okay, so that is how the terminals are marked. It starts from here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. All right, so this relay is an 11-pin relay. And as I explained earlier, there are certain pairs of these contacts that will close when power is supplied to the relay. And there are others that will open when power is supplied to the relay. So just like here, that we have normally closed and normally open, so that when power is supplied to the coil, normally closed becomes opened, and then normally opened becomes closed. It's the same principle that this relay also uses to work. All right, so there are some of these terminals that are already closed that will open when supply is given to this relay. And there are others that are already open that will close when supply is given to the relay. Okay, so now let's look at the connection. So continuing from where we left off, quickly, let's begin by completing a connection that was not completed. All right, so um, there was a live connection that was taken from the breaker here, and it was connected to the terminal marked 2 on the output of the phase monitor. And then we are going to take another connection from there, and that connection comes to terminal 2 on the timer. Okay, now the output that will come to activate this relay will come from terminal 3 on the timer. Okay, from terminal 3, where does it go to? Just like I explained the working principle of the timer, this relay also has two terminals that will energize the relay coil to operate. And those terminals, we have terminal 10 and then terminal 2. So it is these two terminals that will energize the coil in the relay to make the normally closed contacts open and the normally opened contacts close. All right, so from terminal 3 on the timer, we come to terminal 10. Now, in this particular wiring, one of the contacts that are normally opened, that will close when the relay gets energized, is terminal 1 and terminal 3. Okay, so terminal 1 and terminal 3 is normally open, and it closes when the relay coil gets energized. Because we want this contactor to operate when this relay gets power, we are going to wire this relay in a way that when 1 closes to 3, 3 will get power supply, because we are going to take our connection to this contactor from terminal 3. So how do we make sure that when the relay closes, we will get power here? We can ensure that by taking a loop from here to terminal 1. Okay, so it simply means that whilst current flows from the timer to terminal 10 to operate the relay, the same power is looped to terminal 1 here, so that when the relay operates, we can get power supply from terminal 3. All right, so then from terminal 3 here, we take a connection straight to one of the terminals on the main contactor. Okay, so that is how the control wiring is. For this contactor to operate, we have to start from this breaker here, through the phase monitor, through the timer, through the relay, and then we come to the coil on the main contactor. But then one important thing to note is that in order to prevent both contactors from operating at the same time, we would still have to do an electrical interlock, so that anytime this contactor is closed, this one shouldn't close, even if the generator has been switched on manually. And so because of that, we will still have to do some interlocking by bringing the connection from terminal 3 on the relay to pass through this normally closed contact. Okay, so from terminal 3, it should have come to this terminal, then taken from this terminal to A2, like this. Okay, so from terminal 3 to normally closed, then from normally closed to A2. So this way, we have electrically interlocked these two contactors so that when this one is operating, this one cannot operate. Alright. But in case you have done mechanical interlocking, then you can simply go by this connection. So all that we are left to do is to get a neutral connection to the timer and then to the relay. Alright, so in the previous video, you realized that our live connection to the timer was to A2. So it means now we have A1 for our neutral. So we are going to take a neutral connection from here all the way through here to A1 on the timer. Then, because we need neutral here for this relay to work, we will still take a loop from here through here, through here, through here, and then we connect it to terminal 2 on the relay. Then we still have to connect neutral to this one to make it complete. So we take another loop of this neutral from here, through here, through here to A1 on the contactor coil. Alright, so that is how this contactor is going to get activated whenever supply is available. Okay, so for the sake of those who might be new, you may be asking, so what happens to terminal 1 and 3 on the phase monitor, and what happens to terminal A2 on the timer? So previously, this was a connection that we did. If this one switches, terminal 3 will now get power, and then that power will come to complete the timer circuit here, that is to A2. So from A3 to A2. So depending on the time you will set on the timer, it will read. And then when that time is due, then it switches to number 3. There will be a link between terminal 2 here and then terminal 3 here. Okay, and because supply is connected to terminal 2, that supply is transferred to terminal 3, which comes to terminal 10 here to activate the relay. Already we have a neutral here, and then the relay operates, closing contact 1 and contact 3. Because contact 1 has supply, the supply switches to contact 3. It comes to one terminal of the contactor coil, and because neutral is here, this contactor coil becomes magnetized and then attracts the contacts of the contactor to close. And when that happens, then there is an output supply to the distribution board to supply the loads. All right, so basically, this is the control circuit for the main supply source. So anytime the main supply is available, this is how the connection is done to switch power automatically to the load. All right, now, when this main supply is off, everything returns back to normal. This coil will de-energize, the contacts will return back, the relay will de-energize, and then it will go back to its normal state, the same as the timer and then the phase monitor. So at the time that all these things that are connected to the main supply goes off, another sequence of events should happen to start the generator automatically. Okay, and then whatever will happen for the generator to start automatically has something to do with this same relay, because when this relay goes off, something must happen. There must be a signal to the generator to tell the generator that no, the main supply is no longer working, so take over. All right, that is a very simple connection that we'll be doing to the generator, and it depends on the generator you are using. But this wiring is done for a generator that comes with automatic start controller. So this is the control side for the main supply. There is also the control side for the generator. So the next videos I'll be doing, I'll show how to wire that signal that goes to start the generator when the main supply is off. And then I'll also show how to wire the generator control. All right, so do well to subscribe and stay connected in anticipation of the upcoming videos. Thank you very much for watching this video. Please kindly do share with your friends to also benefit. And if this video has been useful, don't forget to hit on the like and comment. See you again in the next video.